Ladies, what if I told you that I found a product I didn't think existed? There are similar products on the market, but this one that I tried is hands down the best, and I was blown away by how it performed and what it could actually do. So if you're interested, hang tight with me and let's walk through what this is, how to use it, while I'm playing with some makeup and getting ready to just go about my day. Okay, so welcome back, my queens. I hope everyone is doing well. As you know, skin prep is the most important part of any makeup routine. Whether, you're just gonna put something light on, or you're going to work, or you have a special event. And the product I wanna show you today is a product that I feel you would use if you're prepping for a special event. So say, for example, you have a party to go to, or a wedding, or just something where you want to feel a little extra special, a little extra glam, and you want your makeup to go on really well and not settle in fine lines. I think this is the product that you would use. It is, quite frankly, not something I would use every day because I don't feel it's necessary every day, although you could use it every day. And I've tried some other products very similar and have been sadly disappointed, to be perfectly frank. And I'm talking about some pretty big name brands out there that carry something kind of similar. This one I found to be uniquely different. As with anything, we want to start with prep skin. Now, I already did my morning skincare routine, which is typically, a rose water toner, a couple of different serums depending on what I'm in the mood for that day, like a niacinamide or a Matrixyl 3000. And then, because my skin tends to be on the dry side, not dry to where it's flaky and you could see it, but when the weather gets cooler, I can feel it. If you're oily, you can skip moisturizer if you're going to use this product. If you're dry, what I would recommend is a water-based moisturizer, not an oil or silicone-based moisturizer, but definitely a water-based moisturizer, and apply that probably 5 to 10 minutes before you're actually going to apply this particular product. So the product is called Beauty Freeze. I came across it completely by accident. I don't even remember which platform. It might have been TikTok, it might have been something else, but product comes in these small little tubes, and you can see in this one that there's 5 tubes, right? And so this should last you a while if you're not using it every day. So here's the interesting thing. When you look at the ingredient list, right, you're going to see things like niacinamide and hyaluronic acid. And you're like, well, Amy, those are products that are in like any skincare product. But what I found makes this different, because I did do a deep dive, I did a lot of research on it, is that it has what's called some film forming agents in it. And it's not anything that's harmful or will cause irritation. At least it didn't cause any irritation to me. Actually feel it like lifting and tightening your skin. So when I say that, used and tried products that are comparable, what I'm talking about are those products that you've seen on the market where if you put a little bit on under your makeup, like around your crow's feet or your laugh lines or whatever, it'll tighten up temporarily. But what I found is that they tended to get a little bit of a white cast, and they would be a little flaky, and makeup wouldn't apply over them very well. So I just ended up being disappointed, because for me, they just didn't seem to work. And I've tried several brands. So this one I have been playing with, and you need to get the hang of it. And the other thing I will tell you when you apply this product is don't be afraid of the amount you use. You need a decent sized amount for this to actually work. And you want this to be what they call as close to the skin as possible. So that means the less layers of skincare and stuff that you have on your face, the better that this is going to work. So you want to apply it liberally to the areas that you want it to lift. And this is getting a little bit runny for me right now because I did put a lot, but you just want to work it in. Like I want to work it in right here in my nasal labial folds. I'm probably going to work some in right here as well around the eyes, give it kind of that lift. And you just want to rub it in and just really work it. Now I could also apply this to the lines in my forehead. And the other thing I found with this is that when you use it, don't need to then go in and apply a primer before you apply your foundation. I'm just gonna let that work it in, and I'm gonna go ahead and put some on my forehead as well. Again, you want a liberal amount. I actually spoke with someone at the company and we walked through a demonstration because I saw the YouTube videos and I'm like, I don't know. I wanted to be sure that, I was applying it right, or, I went ahead and told you guys about this. Oh, let's not get it in the hair. Let's avoid the hair. So even though I'm not done with the application process, I can already feel this. So here's where the application process gets a little funky and you're gonna be like, you gotta do what? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my hair dryer on the cool setting, the fastest speed, for about 15 to 20 seconds. And what I will tell you is you're gonna be amazed at how it feels and how it works, right? I just wanna double check, make sure it's all blended in, which it is. It's not flaky. So we're gonna mute this part of the video so you guys don't get blasted by my hair dryer, but this is my Shark hair dryer. So I'm gonna put it on the highest cool setting and I'm gonna blow from underneath upwards. So here we go. So now that that's done, let's go ahead and put on some makeup. I couldn't decide what I wanted to do today. I have two different palettes from ESUM Cosmetics. This one is the number 3 Harmony Pigment palette, and then this one is the number 1 Balance eyeshadow palette. I had the opportunity earlier this year, back in March, to meet the founder of ESUM Cosmetics and love him. His kit is something to be envied because he is, I think what you would call type A. His kit is super organized. He needs to have it in a certain format, and he just, I think, carries that through with his products as well. Wonderful, wonderful man. I really enjoyed getting to meet him. So we'll do eyeshadow in a second, but let me show you how I tend to prep for eyeshadow. I will take a concealer. I don't buy a separate eyeshadow primer. I don't feel that they're necessary. I'm just gonna take a regular concealer. I use one that is not super glowy because I don't want my eyeshadow sliding around, and I'm just gonna apply it with my finger. I'm gonna be a little bit messy here, so don't mind that. I'll fix that in just a minute, because all I really want to do is balance out my eyelid because I've got a little bit of discoloration right along my lash line, so I just want a nice even canvas for my eyeshadow to adhere to. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not super organized today, so I'll probably be reaching into drawers, digging for stuff because I don't have it here on my vanity, so apologies. But hey, that's what you get sometimes with me. I'm not always super organized, and I blame my ADD for that. So I'm gonna take the concealer brush that I typically use. I love this particular style. This one is from Delian Tools. This one is obviously the pink one. I had to have the pink, but this is what they call the BDHD Phase 3. And I'm just going to work that concealer into the eyelid. And this actually dried down pretty quick. This is a new concealer that I'm trying, and I probably, to be perfectly frank, should not be trying too many new products in one video, but hey, my daughter has been tolling the virtues of this foundation that she found at, I think it was Walgreens, that she loves, and she keeps telling me, you gotta try it, you gotta try it, you gotta try it. It's the number 7, and it's the, what's it called? The Lift and Illuminate Triple Action Serum Foundation. So I picked it up. Don't know if it's the right shade. Hopefully it is. It's as close as I could get. But then I also picked up their corresponding Lift and Illuminate concealer. So I just want to try that on my eyelids today because a friend of mine gave me a concealer to try that one of her friends, who is the product developer, gave her, and she loves it. She says it's excellent for mature skin, so I definitely want to try that as well. So anyway, concealer's on the eyelids, and I'm gonna put on a lip balm just to keep that nice and moist until I get to lips. And the balm that I'm using is from Senna Cosmetics. It's the Butter Up Lip Balm. Love this. I think one of the big reasons why I love it is the packaging. It's like a pencil, right? And you can just throw it in your purse. I've got a couple of these floating around the house, plus the balm feels amazing. And I love Eugenia Weston. You guys need to go look her up. So what do we want to start with? Eyes are prepped. Which palette should we use? I always gravitate towards the browns. So I think I'm gonna go with the Balance eyeshadow palette. Here's one of the reasons why I like these. So if I have a set of these in my kit, I can take the cover off and I can flip it around and it makes it more compact. So let's find some eyeshadow brushes. I want one that's a little on the fluffy side. Depending on your eye size will depend on the brush head size. So if you have smaller hooded eyes, you might want to go with something that's a little bit smaller than this. Small tapered blending brush from Delium Tools. This was my original set that I got when I was in makeup school, and then I actually bought 2 more sets to keep in my kit. And let's see, what shade are we gonna go with? We're gonna start with, I want something fairly light because I just want it in my transition area. Can't see the names through the cases, so I'll have to get you the name later. So let's see here. I'm gonna start with this shade right here. It looks a little bit yellowy, but I think it'll be okay because it's just gonna be a transition shade and I can always darken it up. It's a little yellowy. So let me use one of these other brown shades and mix them. I'm gonna go on the back of my hand just to get off any excess. I need a mirror because old eyes. And here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to start right here where the point of my eyebrow ends and bring it in right now, because obviously I know my eyes well. I know where to start, but if you're struggling with hooded eyes or aging eyes where that skin is starting to come down, basically the best trick I can tell you is look straight on in a mirror and just put a little dot of color with your eyes just normal, open like you normally would. Put a dot of color right where that lid is. So I'm just going to bring that in. You'll see that when I apply makeup, I have a tendency to do a lot of tapping motion. Try not to do too much of the sweeping motion because our eyes have enough at this point, mobility, shall we say, enough movement to where I don't need to give it any more. So sometimes the tapping motion just works better. And I always keep a clean, fluffy brush on hand to help with blending. So let me find one here. And it could be an old crappy brush. You just need it for softening edges and blending color together. Now normally, I didn't do this today because I took my under eye patches off early, but normally I would keep my under eye patches on while I'm putting on my eye makeup because that helps with fallout and it helps with a guide to keep your eyes lifted if you don't go past your under eye. So, and the reason why I'm putting my finger here, I'm not pulling, I just want things steady. You guys notice that you tend to make weird faces when you're putting on makeup. I do it all the time. And I'm just using a light touch here, and then I just want to take this fluffy brush and I'm going to go back and, you know, make sure this is pretty clean later on. And you can use the same brush for multiple purposes. So for example, I'm going to continue to use this brush to build up on the color. The other thing I forgot is I'm gonna do brow gel. This one is Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. If you guys have found a brow gel that you love, will you please tell me what it is? Because I've tried the Anastasia Brow Freeze, don't like it because for me, I find that it leaves like white in my brows and I have to brush it all out, which is annoying. And then I found some other ones, like I tried Billion Dollar Beauty. They focus on brow products. Theirs works pretty good, but I haven't found one that like really lays down my brows and leaves them there. I'm not looking to have that super sculpted brow like you see online because my brows just don't do that, right? They don't really stand up in the front. And I've tried all the tricks. I've tried the trick where you brush it this way first and then brush it that way to lay it down to get the volume. Tried all the things, but like the hair on my head, hair in my brows is super straight and just does not like to cooperate. See, I've got a few here that are just going every which way. Don't think you can see that. Found little white brow hairs. Me. Okay, gonna go into this little bit of a darker shade for the crease. And yes, I'm still using that big fluffy brush because like I said, I'm gonna clean this up after the fact. I just wanna lay down that base of color. Anybody got anything fun planned for New Year's Eve? We're gonna go to a piano bar with some friends. We typically tend to stay home on New Year's, but we decided to get a little adventurous this year and go out. But we are gonna stay because we don't want to be driving back that late at night on a holiday. Okay, I'm gonna get a slightly smaller brush Let me see if I can find a smaller brush because I want to do the outer corner and I want to keep it tight. Let me see if this one works. I'm not even sure where I got this brush. I think it's a natural hair brush that I found on Amazon that I was going to try. So here goes. This is the first time using this brush. It's very tiny, compact head. And the reason why is I just want to get in there, just in this outer V, and just smoke it in. And when you're working with color, you typically want to do is you want to go darker to lighter. So that's why I'm pulling it in instead of going out this way, just in this outer corner. And I'm off from the day job this week, so I'm actually not doing a darn thing today. Just wanted to get up here and play with some makeup. And I'll tell you guys, I have quite a bit of new product. Some of it's new to me, some of it's just new where I haven't really heard of it, the brand, till recently, that I want to try out and I want to show you guys because I haven't seen too much of this, any of the social media platforms. One of them is a brand that is specifically for older women. So I'm pretty interested to try that one out. But then I was thinking today too, it's like there's something that you guys specifically want me to show you. Please don't hesitate to ask. I'm always open to ideas and trying new things or doing a demonstration of certain products. You know, free to reach out and let me know what you want and I'll do it. And really no topic is off, you know, think about it. There's, you know about makeup and I'm definitely a skincare enthusiast, but like I might deal with certain things like I've gone through menopause, having eye surgery, having thyroid disorder, having ADD. A flat brush now because I just want to go in this inner portion of the eye and I'm just going to tap that in. But yeah, open. Y'all just need to ask and I make it happen as best as I can. Because, you know, baby channel, I'm just getting started and I really, really appreciate your support. And you guys are basically going to help me lay the groundwork for the direction that this channel takes. And I truly hope, my goal for the channel is for women in this Gen X age group and even beyond, you know, your baby boomers, to feel beautiful, to feel empowered, to feel like, you know what? I can do whatever I want. To hell with what anybody thinks, right? Because for me personally, and I'm sure you guys are probably used to this too, I'm really over the societal narrative that aging is a bad thing, that you should be embarrassed that, you know, a certain age or that, you know, just basically don't exist after a certain age. Really feel like women in our age demographic are, you know, starting to be seen and heard. But we got to continue that, right? Because the societal norm of, you know, skinny little wafy beautiful people, that's not normal. It's not. So let's show them what normal is and let's feel good about it. And I hate the term anti-aging. I absolutely hate it because there's no such thing, right? There's no such thing. We're gonna age. We start aging from the moment we're born. So why are we trying to push that narrative? So that's why I like the term pro-aging. All right, so I'm going to do the top of my eyes with this liner from Pixi. You can get these at Walgreens. This one is Copper Glow because I have blue eyes. Sometimes they look green. This coppery will look good. And I'm just gonna go super close to the lash line because what I wanna do is I'm actually working it into the lash line and hopefully you guys can see this. I'm like, I look at the mirror, trying to look at you. I want to get it into that lash line because I want it to make my lashes look fuller. Because I am going to go underneath just a little bit, but not so much on the skin because if I put it on the skin, it's going to transfer. So let me right in there. And one thing I want to tell you about this beautyfreeze product that I am trying out and showing to you guys. When you put it on and you get it dried down and you feel that lifting and tightening, at first your face, you're going to be like, oh my God, this stuff feels weird, right? Because of the lifting and tightening effect. But the longer you wear it, the more comfortable it becomes and it doesn't feel like you're wearing a mask. So just that little note. Other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, this shade's not good. I'm gonna take an eye pencil that's more of a shimmer, and I'm gonna come right in here. I am not going to put anything in regards to eye makeup or liner on my bottom lash. I just want to keep that au naturel today. If I was going to a party or something, I might put a little bit of powder under here. Oh, look what I did. Oops. Let's just fix that. I'm just going to take a mascara spoolie and make that go away. That's what happens when you're not paying attention. Okay, my little concealer brush. We'll just fix that. And let me just take eyeshadow. I'm not going to put any more product on it from what I used earlier. Just going to go back over that. I need to fill in some spots on these brows. Okay, try this foundation that my daughter wanted me to try. So I got the shade Cool Ivory, because the shade Fair I knew was going to be way too light. Nice glass bottle. And from what I understand, I don't know a ton about number 7, but I do know, I'm pretty sure they're out of the UK. And I'm going to use, let's see. So I've got two options here. I've got my BK Beauty 106 brush, which will give me more of a about natural. And then I've got my BK Beauty 101 brush, which is the word I'm looking for, slanted brush. Anyway, but it's got a more dense head. And typically I would use this one for stippling. So I'm going to put the foundation on the back of my hand. That's typically how I do it anyway. Then I'm also going to, because I have some redness around my nose, I'm going to use a little bit of green concealer just around my nose. And I got a little spot there and a little bit here. I'm just going to work that in with my fingers because my fingers are warm. And this one that I just used, this one's from Nikol Beauty. I like it because of the packaging, because it's a pencil. It's easy to target where you want it. It has something similar to this. I just will work that in. I just want to press it in. You could also use a sponge if you wanted to. I'll be honest, I typically don't wet my sponges only because I don't want it to pick up more product. I want that product to stay there. All right, this spot here. Alrighty. Okay, put a couple pumps on the back of my hand and let's see how this goes. I did shake it ahead of time. I always recommend you shake your foundations to get them mixed up because regardless of what they're mixed with, whether it's water-based, oil-based, silicone-based, whatever, you want to mix up that foundation. So I did a couple pumps. You can see it's not runny, so it looks like it's probably going to be more of a medium coverage. I'm going to go ahead and use the BK Beauty 101 and work that foundation into the brush. And I'm going to start at the center of my face and work out. I need to see close up. Okay, what I can tell you from close up is that Beauty Freeze is giving kind of like a flawless foundation look because it's minimized all my pores, which was not essentially what I was going for. What I was going for was to minimize my lines here and on my forehead. But I love the way that this has gone on. I'm gonna have to try this product with other foundations and see how it behaves. If there's a foundation that you guys use and you want me to try this with, let me know. I have several on hand because I love to test product. Yeah, I don't have it. I can get it. I will tell you, like I said, my skin is not oily. So if you have oily skin, may behave a little differently. Now I am gonna pull this down because I don't wanna be a floating head. I want everything to blend. I think the color that I got in this foundation is good. It looks like it's like an exact match, which is fantastic. The only thing is I wish that their foundation concealer came in the same shades. I couldn't find it. All I could find was light, so we'll just have to see how that concealer's gonna work. And I'm not getting any extra product. I'm just making sure that everything is worked in. I might need a wee bit more just for my forehead. So let me do a teeny weeny pump for my forehead. I should have music playing in the background or something. And I worry that it would be muted because of copyright issues. So the one thing about this 101 brush, I had heard that BK has come out with a couple new ones. I haven't seen them on the site yet, but that there's going to be a slightly smaller version of this 101 because it's a little bit difficult for me. I like to get close to my eyebrows, and this brush is a wee bit big, and like area right in through here, where my nose. Okay, settling in my fine lines. That's a plus. Overall, I'm loving this finish, and I feel like I could probably use. I haven't put any concealer on yet, so let's put concealer on before I adjust the foundation. Sometimes you might have to put a wee bit more just in certain areas, but what I feel like the Beauty Freeze has done is it's minimized a little bit in through here. I probably didn't put quite enough on because the first time I tried it felt a little bit tighter, so I have a feeling I need to put a little bit more on. I probably didn't put enough on today. That's why I'm saying you're gonna want to use it for a special event. Play with it. Don't be afraid of the amount you use. Let's try this new concealer. So this concealer is called Maxine's Revenge French Face. It's made for a thin, full coverage, radiant skin for 40 and over, which is my demographic. I'm gonna put a little here. Might be a little bit too light, but we'll see. I'm gonna put a little bit here and here because I wanna kind of the lip, a little bit here. And here's the thing with makeup, just play with it. Find what works for you. You watch 10 million videos about, apply concealer on women over 40 and you're confused as to what's gonna, for you, just play with it. It washes off. So just play and see what works for you. I still continue to try tons of different techniques because for me, my biggest thing that sticks out is this area in through here in this tear trough. And the reason why it's the way it does is not so much because of dark circles, it's because I've lost over the years with aging, I've lost a lot of volume in through here. And I've not done filler. I'm not gonna say I'm not opposed to doing filler. Personal preference. Some of you may say, well, don't need to do that, vanity thing. It's what makes you feel good, right? Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, what anybody's opinion is, because what works for them doesn't necessarily work for you. Okay, so the concealer worked in really well. I am gonna take my foundation brush with no more product on it. I just wanna make sure that everything is well blended. And the other thing with your foundation brush, it's great for fixing mistakes. You don't necessarily have to put more product on it to fix mistakes. Okay, let's move on. Okay, I'm gonna take a wee bit, and I mean the tiniest bit, of pressed translucent powder on a fluffy brush just to set this under eye area so I don't have to worry about it creasing. And I'm also going to put this on my forehead lines so those don't crease as well. And then I think what we're gonna do is just put on a little bit of cream blush and maybe some bronzer and some gloss and be done for today. All right, this one was a small sample size I had gotten from By Terry. I do use loose powders as well. It just really depends what I'm doing. Okay, so here's a trick I learned from Marlene Estelle in regards to blush placement, right? So I had explained how this area for me, I'm sensitive about. To me, it's noticeable. I don't want to draw attention to it. So one of the things that she had recommended was to use a brighter colored blush, and also for my face shape, since it's oval, I want to do that kind of like from here up. I'm not going to go all the way up into this temple area because I don't have a round face. I have more of like I said, an oval face. And what I'm using today is this is a new one for me. It's the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin, and it's called It Girl. It's really a bright pink, and this is the first time I'm using it, so we're being brave here. I love the way it feels. It's very silky and creamy. And I'm going to just go in that upper area. And then I'm taking my all-time favorite brush, which is the BK Beauty 109. And I'm going to work it into that area. I'm trying not to come too far in, right? Because I don't want to draw attention to this area. I could even put it on the brush and just work it in. And I know you guys are like, oh my God, that blush is so bright, and you're right, it is, but that's okay because we can fix this, right? We can work it in, give that brightness here. And I don't want to come too far down because I don't want to draw my face down. I'm going to put a tiny bit on the tip of my nose to give some color. And guess what? We're going back to the foundation brush because I'm going to go along that top edge and along this bottom edge to work it into the skin and blend it in with the foundation. Now, what you guys could do is you could set this with a powder blush, or you can just set it with regular powder. In this cheek area, if you have fine lines and wrinkles in this area here, again, make sure you're using a powder that's super, super light, super finely milled. I am going to probably just set mine with setting spray today. I'm not overly concerned if it stays or if it doesn't stay, only because, like I said, I'm not going anywhere today. It's a pretty color. It gives some life to my face, which is good because foundation levels you out and you need to add dimension back into the face. And then I'm gonna use this Viseart bronzer. Absolutely love the Viseart products. Their pigmentation is outstanding. This one is Bronze Noir, and it's a very light bronze because I am very fair-skinned. And what am I gonna use? I would typically recommend a big old fluffy brush for bronzing. So I'm gonna use this A507. And the one thing I wanna say about bronzing, because this drives me crazy, I don't know if I'm the only one. I see a lot of, makeup artists, content creators, and obviously I don't know all there is to know about makeup, right? There's always things to learn, but I see a lot using bronzer in areas where you want to create shadow. So for example, and I'm just going to go along the top here. I see them using it in the hollows. I see them using it under the chin. And just from learning color theory and stuff, it was always my impression that those areas, if you want to create shadow to minimize, you want to use a cool tone, right? You don't want to use a warm tone, and bronzers are warm. So I'm not 100% sure, why they would use bronzer in that way, but hey, who am I, right? I still have a lot to learn, which is why I love to practice on myself. I love to practice on friends, so that when I have a mature client in my chair, I am giving them the best experience possible. Because for me, it's all about the experience. Okay, so I am going to go off camera, put on some mascara, because I don't feel like putting on lashes today, and throw on some lip gloss, and then we shall wrap this up. So there you have it. I've shown you how the Beauty Freeze Instant Facelift Cream can help to smooth out the fine lines and give you more of that lifted look, and also be used as a primer and moisturizer and sunscreen. Hopefully you'll give that a shot, especially if you have a special event. If you have any questions about it, feel free to ask. Like I said, I've done a deep dive into all the ingredients, how to apply. We did a somewhat quick makeup look today. Just kept it pretty simple. If you guys have any questions, I'm open to them. My friends and family will tell you that, I'm not going to recommend a product if I don't feel that it truly works. And I was truly amazed by this. I was skeptical when I first got it, but once I got it and I got it on and I tried it and I applied it properly and followed the proper technique, I was amazed. Even my husband, when I showed him, I didn't tell him I was doing it. I went downstairs when I was done playing with it, and I looked at him and he was like, "Your face looks so smooth." And I'm like, I know, I tried a new product. So anyway, all that to say, I do believe in it. I do trust it. So I wouldn't steer you wrong on this one. So I hope you guys got something out of this video. Like I said, you know, if there's anything you want me to cover, please feel free to reach out. I do read your comments and I will respond, you know, and now I'm hoping, you know, if Beauty Freeze can smooth out my face like this, you know, it would be wonderful. It could maybe smooth out my schedule. Hope you all have a great week and we'll see you next time.